Well, this is us operating with the video, and you can see that we're doing things. There's me on the left and Helen.
Can't see me.
Can't see you. Okay.
So important.
It's so important. And the computer, can you see the computer screen over on the right-hand side there? So this is the representative coming around. So, oh, there's Helen. So you can see the computer screen directly on, and we're just actually entering information into the computer here. There are, and you would have seen if you've been to the United States, ads for gender-specific knees. It's a bit sexist, really, to think that women's knees are different from men, but they are. And perhaps in the longer term there are going to be people who need special prostheses because they're women. Now once again, this has only been around for a couple of years, and I'm very cautious about going ahead with this at this point because the runs are not on the board, and I'd rather that someone else makes the mistakes so that I don't have to pick up the pieces of my own patients. Better coatings and materials. This is probably the most relevant other than the things we've said so far. There have been big strides over the last 15 years in working out ways of reducing friction and wear in joint replacement. And in the longer term, this is eventually where things will go. So we will get to the point where there will be either no wear or virtually no wear, but we haven't got there yet. This is a computer screen just to show you that the technician is helping me, and he's saying to me, look, you know, the gaps are there, what do you think? And then I'm moving the knee, you can actually see this in real time. And we've got 135 degrees of bend there, and the gaps are spot on. And then he stores that and he says, yep, that's good. Sorry about this. And there are resections. You can see we're only 1 degree wrong. There is valgus, which is the orientation from side to side. We're 1.5 millimetres wrong here, and we're 1 millimetre wrong there, and we're 1.5 degrees. Now you can't see any of that. The human eye really is only good when you get up to about 10 or 11 degrees. So we can't see any of these minor things, but the computer can. And the other thing we do, which is very clever, is that it balances the soft tissues around your knee, so that when you're finished, your knee is not unstable. And you'll be surprised how many people around the place with otherwise perhaps satisfactory knee replacements who have got very loose joints. And functionally that's not good because your knee feels like it's going to go out on you. Now the last thing I'll say to you is that you have to be cautious about things that come up in the media which look like the best, greatest and newest. They're not necessarily for you. And I suppose the really big thing to know is that the thing we're trying to get better at is something that's already very good. And we're not going to know that it's going to be better for another 10 to 15 years. So you must be cautious, and we're conservative. And we should be, because we don't want any failures. So how are we going? We've talked about everything. The reason I do this is that I went to a conference last year and the guy said, you've got to tell people what you're going to tell them, you've got to tell them, and then you've got to tell them that you told them, which is what I'm doing. But it's good, because then we all understand each other. I said to my anaesthetist yesterday, I said, Greg, can we do it any better? And he looked at me and he said, of course we can't, we're perfect now. But in the longer term, he will get better too. And there have been some big advances in anaesthesia in the last couple of years, and I think he and I have noticed a substantial improvement in our function. Now, I'm going to stop now and put you over to Ed. And if you don't mind, we'll keep going and we'll take some questions at the end.